Welcome back to Pop Culture Roll Call, the show where our hosts are watching The Magicians by only viewing the scenes that their character is present for. This is the Season 4 Wrap-Up.
Welcome back to an episode of Pop Culture Roll Call. I'm your host, Michael. Watch everything from the point of view of Penny. To left me as always.
It's Stasia, and I watch everything from the point of view of Margot.
In front of me as always.
It's Colin. I watch everything from the point of view of Elliot, as always.
Right here, right now.
Hey, it's Brian. I watched as Quentin.
And
Past tense.
And creeping in the background often.
It's producer James, and we kicked all the girls out of this room.
Yeah, too many girls.
Yeah. Just 5 dudes. 4 dudes and a dog dude.
Yeah.
Dog dude.
4.5 dudes.
4.5 dudes. That's my favorite spinoff.
4.5 dudes.
Well, yeah, sorry, team. I had to be virtual. I am on the East Coast, so
Yeah. The land of education.
yeah.
That's what they call it. Nope. That's where all those elites are, I hear about.
Coastal elite.
Oh my god. Say you're boring without saying you're boring.
I'm more of a cornfield elite.
Yeah.
You know, I literally got married next to a cornfield.
Mm.
So who's the cornfield elite now?
I like to consider myself a bit of a cornfield philosopher.
Oh yeah, that's
My
right.
wife's-
I forgot you're a coastal elite, James.
I am East Coast, but my wife's hometown, it has its own corn festival.
Ooh, we have a corn festival too in my home.
Wow.
Yeah, it's known far and wide in that area.
How big are scarecrows in your towns?
Like height wise or number?
I think frequency is the better question.
Popularity.
The average size.
We just have one big scarecrow for the whole county.
Okay.
It's like
The bigger
80
they are, the bigger radius it covers.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That's like video game logic.
Well, you gotta imagine a crow flies up and sees an 80-yard tall scarecrow. It's like,
good.
Jesus Christ! Turns around, fucks right out.
I'm good.
It's just called Burning Man.
Or Wicker Man. You know what's neither of those in? This season of The Magicians.
Nice.
Segue.
Generational.
So welcome to
Sponsored.
season 4. Another one down. We assume there's a 5th one.
It
say
would be wild if there's not at this point.
Okay, there is.
Okay.
You can't give that many setups.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Let's be honest. I'm not going to give you a cliffhanger like that and then the show's over. That'd be wild on my
I kind
part.
of want you to because I hate
Well,
myself a
this
little
is-
bit.
Was there a cliffhanger?
Well, there's a couple of like things set up.
Yeah.
There's setups
Yeah.
for a new season.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not going to do like, oh,
Stasia
next
saw
time.
cliffhangers, right?
The fillery stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is partially why I don't do shows that are airing currently. Mm-hmm. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be like, and now we're done. I guess we're done.
I mean, that's how television works now, though.
Sure, but that's not how we work.
Yeah.
You know how we work. Tell me what your favorite episode is from this season.
Right at the top every time.
Every time.
I'll go first. I almost went with the luck heist because that was just a blast.
That's a good one.
But I'm gonna go with the finale. Is it better safe?
No better to be safe than sorry.
Because listen, you get me crying. You're a good episode. You give me my feels to the soundtrack of Deadpool 2. You're gonna win every time.
Can't keep saying that.
Now it's the bit.
It's not up. Okay.
Didn't that
It's the
song
bit.
come from that movie?
Yeah, they
only?
wrote "Take on Me" for
for
Deadpool
that
2.
movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, Deadpool 2 is time travel, right? So they went back in time to incept AHA.
to do MTV Unplugged.
Hey, yeah, it's your cousin Martin. Listen to this.
Martin,
But no, like it was a like I feel with finales, it's so hard to not stick the landing because there's so much build up and these big monsters and how do we defeat them. And then you get me with
Game
a
of Thrones would differ.
Yeah. What the hell are you talking about? There's so many finales that don't stick the landing.
This isn't even a series finale. It's just a season finale.
But I think they do a good enough job setting up like unbeatable monsters all season that there is a way to deal with them. And then also, by the way, like a secret payoff for this story Quentin's been telling this whole season. And like the whole like, what's your type of magic? Oh, it's repairing. Nice little payoff.
Yeah, I guess. I wouldn't say that was the best payoff because it kind of came out of nowhere and then they referenced it once. But
Yeah, it was maybe a good payoff and a bad setup.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Or lazy
mean,
setup.
Listen, if you didn't pick it, the finale was going to be my favorite. My favorite was either the finale or like you said, the Luck Heist.
Luck Heist was so funny.
It was such a great
I wish
episode.
I saw more.
The
Yeah.
Bad News Bear, that one was called.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you were literally holding the bear full of bad luck.
Just cursed with the
Just a
worst
cursed
luck.
bear.
Just getting like a tiny paper hut that starts gushing blood.
Off a paper towel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, off a paper
Off a
towel.
paper towel.
Uh-huh.
That whole scene with like the poker game or playing war or whatever was
yeah.
it was just great.
Yeah.
Like it's just exactly what you want.
That's
If
the
you-
kind of world building you're hoping out of a show like this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're looking for more luck heisting, there's a movie called Intacto. I don't know if I referenced this during
I don't know.
during the episode we actually recorded about it, but I watched this movie. It's like a Spanish language film where like luck is a commodity that you can like buy and sell and trade. There's great scenes in there, like people blindfolding themselves and running through forests, and it's awesome. But it's kind of a similar premise to this luck heist episode.
too
So I was
lucky.
just in from moment one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. What about you, Stas? I'll go last.
Sure. So mine is the most obvious. I'm not picking the ending. As I said at the end of last episode, no. I was unhappy. I didn't like it. I want him to be alive. I'm mad about it. So,
So the episode might or might not have been good. It's irrelevant because a character died.
It made her sad.
that is correct.
Angry
yes.
sad.
Angry sad.
Sad
They-
equals bad.
Angry.
I'm sure we'll get into this because
Yeah.
so I won't talk all about it right now. But my favorite episode was obviously All That Hard Glossy Armor, which is the Margot sing along with like just like so much character development and so much backstory, and it was great. I had a lot of fun. It was really funny.
This is like the desert.
just a good time.
This is like the desert group where you got the axes, and it was like the subjugated women ended up like actually the men. What was the problem?
Yeah.
This thing was like the men was saying that
They were saying that
That
there
the
was a spirit
monster-
in the desert
Yes.
that was going to attack women when they got too emotional.
Oh, that's what it was. Too emotional. I couldn't remember what the trigger event was for
Yeah.
the violence.
So the women weren't allowed
Yeah.
to get emotional.
Got it.
Yeah, and that I definitely clocked that immediately because like first couple of minutes into that show, that's like that line is dropped like pretty early on, and I was like, I don't know, I have some questions, and I was correct.
My favorite episode is a little bit of a departure. I wish I remembered it a little bit better. But one, Monster Elliot just didn't have a ton of time, especially in the second like half-ish of this season. It
Yeah.
was a lot more of like I would just kind of teleport in for 2
Severed
to 3
head.
minutes and like threaten somebody.
Yeah. Just
But
walk in with somebody's head.
yeah, I did that like 3 times, which is a wild amount of times to walk in with somebody's head. But there is season 4, episode 5, Escape from the Happy Place, which was just the episode where Elliot, like actual Elliot inside of his own mind, gets to go on sort of a quest, kind of like a Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future kind of deal of like figuring out where his trauma center was that sort of like led to this kind of like safe space. So you like know where the door is, that kind of a thing. And it was just a good sort of reminder. I think it was well placed in the season. It was not exactly halfway, but it was right around the halfway mark, because you kind of start forgetting who Elliot is as a character and like what made him unique. So then like taking that little bit of a break where you weren't really dealing with the monster Elliot stuff, there was still some like new information that comes out about how that works, and it's like a demon like physically occupying the mind of somebody kind of a deal. But it helped me like remember what made Elliot, which is a big part of the same reason all of us have magic, which is like sadness and trauma and depression. It's like sort of the funnel for it, and the fact that he is like a uniquely troubled individual who has a lot of issues with like finding good outlets for dealing with that, like that depression and that anxiety, but it always comes off in this sort of like affable, lovable air, and it's like a really delicate balancing act that I think you just completely miss whenever he's kind of an ignorant child demon, and it kind of like removes the most interesting part of his personality. So it was nice to get to go back in there and see that a little bit more.
If I had gone hardcore into the premise of the show, that's the only episode you would have gotten.
Right, which I would have been fine, but it would have been a little bit of a boring thing for me to do all season.
You would have came back and been like, I had nothing. Tell me what's up.
Yeah, exactly.
Every single episode. And I was like, you know what? That's not fun.
I don't know if that's true though, because you remember the monster stuff, don't you?
It's like I think there's a line like he is in and out.
Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't like 100%.
I think from what I understand, Elliot inside of my mind palace is not privy to all of the thoughts and like actions of the monster, because I'm like inside of a house in my own brain, so I'm not like tied in. I don't know from a memory perspective. Maybe we get into that in season 5.
They almost contradict that though, because Julia, when she comes out of the monster, she's like, oh, I know what they're doing and I know about this scroll and everything else. So.
Right. Which maybe, and like I said, maybe it's A, contradiction, maybe B, I misunderstood it, or maybe C, we're going to talk about it in season 5. Yeah. But like in that episode, obviously the monster was still out doing shit, but through the entire episode, we were just like teleporting through memories, and the monster wasn't like catatonic during that time. So like things were happening and I wasn't like reacting or talking about things that he was doing in the real world. So I don't know. Maybe that's just like a TV show magic kind of thing. It wasn't important.
Don't think about it too hard.
Yeah, don't think about it too hard kind of a deal.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly what they want me to know out of that. Yeah.
All right. That's our faves. So, first question from the Discord. Vesper asks,
Vesper.
Hello, Vesper.
Can you talk a bit about how the show depicts parents and parent-child relationships?
Interesting. Huh.
How many good examples do we got?
So Alice and both of her parents.
I have a good one.
Yeah.
What's up, Stash?
Margot and her dad. You never get to see Margot and her dad actually together, but like they talk about it in the episode that I'm referencing, which is all that hard glossy armor. Because she talks about how she was her her dad's favorite, and that she loved her dad so much, and like they had such a good relationship until she got old enough to like start to form her own opinions, and like he did not like that. He didn't like the kind of woman that he had raised, which I thought was like really interesting, because Margot is such a like strong female character, and I actually thought that was like really compelling, that like you can have a parent who like almost accidentally does the right thing, right, where they like raise like a very self-assured, like confident child, and then turns that to dislike, which I think is crazy. And I haven't seen that much of that play out in TV shows before. Maybe it's just the shows that I'm watching, but I thought that was like very compelling. I don't think we're going to get much more of it, but I thought that was like an interesting story point.
No, that's it, and I think when you were talking, I was trying to think back on all the parents that we know, and my first gut reaction was all the parents are portrayed as being terrible, like or like maybe not terrible, but maybe like. Well,
I don't think Quentin's relationship with his dad is like terrible.
That was the one that I was kind of like pulling back to constantly, of like I feel like Quentin and his dad specifically, your mom and you have a pretty fraught relationship.
A bit, yeah.
But you and your dad seem to have a legitimate like loving relationship, and obviously some really traumatic shit happens between you and your father, and it affects you. So like there seems to be like real tangible love there. And I was trying to think if there's another parent who sort of maintains love.
So the only parent... So Penny doesn't really talk about his parents.
Right. Penny doesn't really talk.
Obviously,
Elliot has a terrible relationship with his dad.
Yeah.
The other parent-child combo I thought of was I always forget her name, but like the main librarian, who we get the backstory of...
Oh, right.
Her daughter wanting to be more open and collective and share info and knowledge with the world, and really wanted to just be one, like be an adventurer, why are we hoarding this information? And I don't think her mom was bad, but just very scared and not willing to roll the dice because she's seen the worst of the world. So like too overprotective. So like not villainous, but just doesn't want her daughter or this important information to get into harm's way.
Yeah.
So, and that's a very kind of like, it felt like a real dynamic of like, I'm trying to protect you from this world that you think is you think it's kinder than it actually is. Trust me, I've been there. It's like, you don't know. I've met people. They can handle it. So I think that's the most like realistic, balanced relationship I've seen in parents. Penny just doesn't.
Yeah, Penny doesn't really talk about it.
Alice's parents obviously were characters, and what, her dad dies, mom dies.
Dad dies.
Dad dies, and mom kind of like has a really sort of like hard time
But even
processing
then,
and dealing with that.
Even before that, Alice did not have a great relationship
No,
with
she
her
did not.
parents. So we have what, like 5 sets of parents or whatever, and one mostly positive relationship, and then that parent dies.
And like it's
We also have another.
Okay.
We also have another negative relationship, which is the monster and his sister with their parents, which are the old gods,
yeah.
right? Like they trap them.
Is this
and,
Fuck You
like,
Dad, the show?
throw them away.
It's fucking
Kind
Mom,
of
the
giving
show.
that.
yeah, it's kind of giving. We don't need parents. I
Yeah.
mean,
Just one good dad, so
If-
it's not all dads.
Yeah.
Hashtag not all dads.
hashtag not all dads. I feel like, so if the general vibe that magic is given to those kind of who have suffered or dealing with things, like how often are the people dealing with those things because of a rough upbringing? So maybe maybe it's not unheard of that the people who have like dealt with the most hardship or are dealing with the most like trauma come from either incredibly unhealthy or somewhat troubling like family upbringings.
Yeah.
And this is just the like, oh, you have a rough upbringing? Okay, you're either gonna be a singer, an artist, or a magician. It's gonna be one of those 3.
Honestly,
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
it does fit with that whole like magic comes from pain thing.
100%.
Tortured artist.
Turns out having a really healthy relationship and a solid support structure with close loved ones is like really important for positive mental health and dealing
Yeah.
with like terrible situations. Not that I say it is the only thing, but it helps.
It's crucial.
Yeah, it's
at times.
Yeah, it can be crucial at times. I think the other, I'm glad you called that out because I was going to as well. That like the monsters, the parents are kind of the old ones, and that relationship was just purely transactional and then dismissive. Like it didn't really seem like they wanted it to be like they didn't seem like the old ones really wanted to like kill or murder the children. They didn't want them to succeed. They just like made them almost like out of curiosity, and then realized that they kind of fucked up but didn't have a good way of like dealing with it. So they just kind of the classic child abuse, like literally locked them in rooms and just like let them be kind of a deal. So that's like, I don't know, and we'll talk about it a little bit as we move on. I think my bigger disappointment with the season as a whole is that they never really kind of explored what I thought was the interesting, nuanced gray area of like this brother and sister who were sort of forgotten about and created out of spite and then like dismissed by the old gods, ended up actually just kind of being dumped into an infinite prison between realities. Whenever we like had this like weird setup about like whether Elliot, I don't know, I have more things to talk about there, but that like parent relationship was obviously shitty. I think one of the few good ones outside of Quentin and his dad was also Elliot and Fen and what's my daughter's name? Faye. Yeah, Elliot, Fen, and Faye, because there was some interesting stuff that wasn't this season, but I do think that the relationship was pretty interesting because it. Like to your point, Mike, it like opened up a different like angle to identify and sort of like think about parents and sort of what that means in the show. Because like Elliot didn't know he was a dad, and he was like a dad to a fully grown adult person all at once. So it was like it was biological, but he also didn't trust it. But it kind of had this like adopted parent like energy because he didn't like raise the child from birth, but it was the birth parent. So it's like it was kind of like doing
Want to go play catch?
Yeah, but there were like moments like that, right? Where it was like he was trying to be a friend, but also do I be a parent at the same time? But he doesn't have a good relationship with his parents, and it's like I liked that sort of exploratory part of last season. Whenever Faye comes back, and like she's been kind of like changed by her times with the fairies, and like we don't know if we can trust her, and it ends up there's a bunch of complicated mumbo jumbo that goes on with that. But yeah,
There's one more good parent we're forgetting.
I forgot. It's Frey.
Frey.
because it's short for fragile human.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I knew it was something that I couldn't remember. Thank you.
There's one more good parent we're forgetting about. Well, parents.
Right.
Quentin and Poppy
He's kind of a.
were parents.
I thought you were gonna say Quentin and Elliot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't Quentin kind of a deadbeat dad?
You were a dragon father.
Not in that one. That in the time loop for the
Right.
long time he wasn't an absent father.
I
The
guess.
two of them raised the child,
Yeah, so
and then the
there's-
child moved away.
So Quentin was kind of a dad twice, right?
Yeah.
There's one with Poppy, which he wasn't the actual dad.
Yeah, but you were. If seeing your behavior as an assumption of dad, you were great.
You were gonna step up, man.
You were gonna step up, man.
And then the one with the Elliot, living our whole lives
right.
thing.
Peaches and plums, man.
But I guess the kid did grow up, get married, and move away
Boom.
during that. So Quentin was a good dad, I
that
guess.
kid,
so.
kid ain't seeing any magic.
It
But
seemed
like the
loving.
kid's probably around, right?
Well, we did have that discussion about
Ooh.
that's some timeline
Wouldn't
magic
it be crazy?
nonsense. We don't know what the magician
Can I shoot an
equivalent is.
insane shot from nowhere?
Sure.
What if he's the bad guy?
That's what I was thinking.
The Dark
Lord of
King?
Dark-
what if
Dark
he's the
King?
Dark King?
Yeah.
Where my dad's left me?
I'm the Dark King.
My
Dad's left me.
My dad's left me. I'm mad. Listen, there's been
Wait,
more
but he
stories
left
told with less.
He left them,
Yeah, he
and
moved.
then
He
and
moved
then
away.
Elliot died of old age.
Yeah, that's fair. Because listen, I'm shooting my shot.
Yeah, Quentin also died of old age.
Yeah. Maybe he's sad that you both died, and that's why he's the Dark King. Bring you back.
Emo king.
Emo King. Maybe listen to some Fall Out Boy and Fillery. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 examples of good parents.
All this said, I don't know what the show's trying to say about parents other than it does feel like they're painting with a really broad brush, with the core theme being that troubled relationships with parents
Equals magic.
equals magic. But that's not the only thing, but it does feel generally kind of like
but-
what's being said.
I feel like if you're targeting a certain age, like to get into like the writing of the show, like if you're targeting an age demographic, that's kind of the age of like, these are like late teens or 20s who are maybe on like rocky relationships with their parents. Here's something for you to recognize and identify with.
It is a good message to all the parents out there, though. Like, you should start hating your kids, or else they're not going to amount to anything.
Yeah, they're not going to be magical at all.
Diamonds need
I
pressure.
still got time. I still got
Diamonds need
time.
Pressure.
Don't worry about it.
Before we
Your
move
kids
on,
ain't gonna have no magic.
Before we move on, I did want to shout out one thing when I was looking at the episode descriptions trying to figure out my favorite episode. My episode of season 4, episode 5, Escape from Happy Place, had a pretty great title on ours. I just want to pat us on the back for Level 20 Baja Man. So I just want to throw that out there that we did a really good job, and that's very funny.
We're hilarious.
I don't
Hilarious.
think any other show out there is doing titles like we are. Because I'm sorry, 2 Italian beefs.
2 Italian Beefs, also a pretty good title.
Yeah.
We've been on a heater this season. All right.
All right, next question.
Yeah.
This one's from Divine Miss M.
What up, Divine Miss M?
I think it's clear by now that you miss a lot of Julia's story.
No.
What? Us?
But some of your characters really genuinely care about her, specifically Penny 23 and Q.
Yep.
So I wonder, do you care about what happens to her?
I do.
Does Mike or does Penny 23?
I think.
And be honest, 'cause
until
I-
this season, I don't think I gave a damn.
Yeah.
But I think talking to her through Penny 23's eyes, and especially all of her like struggling with am I a god or am I a human, and like she'll never know the answer until like one is like made for her, and then she still doesn't know. Like I think all of that, her time like in the weird forest with the weird follower. Yeah, I think I'm not firmly on Team Juliet, but I'm here to maybe defend.
You're ready to defend.
I'm ready to defend.
All right, then defend it, because I think she is a little kind of boring from where I'm sitting.
I don't think you interact with her enough.
That's probably part of it.
And
yeah.
I think I've gotten I've gotten some like Julia at her best. Because I feel like early Julia, she was always in our way. Not because like for wrong reasons, like she was dealing with her own trauma. But I think this season is a person struggling with being like too strong and unsure about how or why. And then like learning a couple episodes later, you got to pick.
Yeah.
Do you want to live forever and see your friends die, or do you want to be a human like them?
Yeah.
But then also a man from another time is madly in love with you. and you find out that you are madly in love with him. So how do you process that? Like so many like the worst kind of good things of like someone loves you and you are a god or maybe a goddess if you want to be, and like no time to process any of it because the world's on fire.
It's interesting to me because like she probably came into the show, as far as I could tell, as like the most well-adjusted character in the cast, and has had the worst things happen to her. So it's hard to like kind of resonate with some of with some of what I'm seeing, because it's just like, yeah, she just handles these things as anybody probably should, even though they're horrible. And so I'm like, yeah, all right, she's just a person hanging out, having horrible thing after horrible thing happen.
She is doing the best given the consequences.
Yeah.
But I don't find that
hope. But I don't find that I don't find that super interesting, I guess.
I don't know. I think her and Penny's dynamic help change that. Like I think some of the scenes they have are really endearing. Like when he has to like wash her feet and that whole awkward, like seeing Penny.
Oh, Mike's got a foot thing.
No, I don't. I have the opposite.
Gotcha.
I don't get it. Not to shame anyone. I don't get it. But I think seeing this like charming, like ready to like seduce people person for the first time be like, and just genuinely nervous. I'm like, okay, he actually cares about her because he's nervous and this matters.
Gotcha. What's up, Saz?
I just okay. I don't dislike
Never
her,
a good start.
but I do feel like it's kind of weird, right? Like because we treat like you said, this Penny 23 is like madly in love with her. But like it's a different person. Like she talked about this. Like she is a different person, and we're supposed to accept that, you know, the Pennies are different, right? Because the other Penny is in love with Katie. But like for Julia, we're supposed to just be like, well, yeah, of course, Penny 23 loves Julia. Like I don't think I got any, and maybe we got it, and I just didn't see it. But like I just don't understand why I'm supposed to why I don't know. It's not a bad thing. It's just like. I feel
weird.
like we're missing a lot, and it is a little like it's even inconsistent with their own plotting.
Are you saying like it's kind of like they make it clear that the two Pennies are different, but they don't make it clear that two Julias are different?
Yeah.
But the two Pennies are also kind of similar too. So I'm wondering if the show and I don't know if this is what the show's actually saying, but I do think there's something to be said about a lot of times. Like I don't believe in the idea of like a soulmate, as in there's only like one person that you could actually like be in love with for your entire life and like marry whatever for like long committed relationships, because that's not how statistics work. So I'm wondering if it was like, you know, a lot of times you just need to be in a room with somebody and like meet them, and there's just so many people to like, yeah, there's always going to be chemistry if you meet the right person in the right place in the right time. And it was like Penny and Julia were not the same people that they think of each other as, but now they have like a reason to talk, and they're enough like the people that they know and love that becomes like a tie that kind of like binds them together, but they're different enough that their love is like genuine and unique.
They're starting from scratch.
Yeah, but not from zero.
Right. And Penny is very clear in like understanding this is not like Julia 23.
Right.
And is not approaching it from that way. But definitely doesn't hide that he is interested.
Right.
And I think once she kind of clocks that, like I'm not expecting her to be my Julia. I'm just intrigued in who you are. That's when she's like, okay, wait a minute. He is kind of charming, and he's not bad to look at. And they have a lot of these like sincere moments where she could start to be like, okay, I can see where other Julia came from. I think you're rolling with advantage.
Yeah.
If you're from different timelines, it's like, if you've proven the chemistry is there, but can you make it work given this timeline circumstances?
Yeah. I think this is a statement that has no grounding in reality, because I don't know Julia from Adam. Like, especially Elliot. Elliot doesn't fucking know Julia at all.
I don't think you pick her in a lineup.
I regularly write like a brunette woman in my notes. I'm like, I think that's Julia, and then I have to like go back up and be like, oh yeah, that's Julia.
Yeah.
Because
put J question mark?
Yeah, I saw her more this season than ever, and I had like 4 minutes an episode, so I'm like regularly don't know who Julia is. So again, that out of the way, it feels like she's a character. I feel like I'm going to say this is going to be sexist.
Wow.
But it's not. But it's just a lack of
bold.
information. But I feel like she's a character where the story happens to her consistently.
Yeah.
And like, I don't find that to be as compelling than somebody changing the narrative. Like, it's more interesting to have your characters influeing
Driving
the narrative and like making active change. But it's like, I feel like every time we're interacting with Julia, it was, oh, her, like, you know, she doesn't get into college because of Quentin's thing. She, like, her, like, love interest gets teleported away. She gets, like, god powers, and they kind of get taken away, and then someone makes a decision on whether she's going to be a god or not.
She doesn't
like,
make the decision. Penny makes the decision, right?
Penny makes the decision, and it's like, my examples kind of fall a little bit flat, and that's, like, the most important one, obviously. But even the same thing with, like, the Beast, and, like, I'm, like, taking her away and, like, putting a consciousness inside of her, but it's like, she just kind of feels like a really interesting character of this like god / mortal / both at the same time. But it feels like she's being used as a little bit of like a MacGuffin character for plot to exist around, and I don't find that to be super compelling. I might be wrong, and she has a shit ton of agency.
Which is what's beautiful about this show,
right? And that's why the show works.
Is you did disclaimer at the beginning, and we're going to disclaimer at the end. It's because you only see a little bit, and what you have seen, that is your opinion.
Yeah,
I love it.
I still have no idea what she's doing outside of our scene. So like, it's hard to know what she's driving versus is she just victim of things
one thing
happening.
after another. Yeah.
And obviously last season she was a victim of like horrific crimes at the hands of a god.
Yeah.
Like, so again, like things are happening to her, and it's like, it's easy to feel awful for her. I'm glad she's like better. I'm glad she has Penny. I'm glad she's part of the group more now. I'm glad like X, Y, and Z. But just like a character where things regularly happen to them isn't extremely compelling in general.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
all right.
Thank
Next
you.
question is from Psyche.
What up, Psyche?
Hello, Psyche.
One of the following godlike beings wants something from you.
Oh, I don't like that.
Which one do you think you could talk your way out of?
Ooh, I like this.
The monster,
Yeah.
Bill Cipher, or Glory?
Oh man.
Which one do I think I could talk?
You could talk your way out of.
Saja?
Styles, what's up?
I think it's Glory.
You think you could
I
talk
think
yourself
it's
out of glory?
I think so.
Gal
Because
to
she
gal?
can be gal to gal. Gal to
Yeah,
gal.
it's big.
And like she can be distracted, and like it's dangerous because she is like very at a whim, I suppose, of anything. Like it's risky, right? But like there's a way out of that, girl to girl, and just like vibe and like just like pump her up. You can get out of that conversation, I think. Bill Cipher is too lawyery. There's like too many like
all the
gotchas, too many like catches. Like you have to be on your toes
He's
the
pulling
entire
out
time.
clauses.
Like that's like a little too risky. And the monster is just like, he kills people before you even open your mouth. So like that, you don't have enough time. You need somebody where you can actually get a word in order to like have any potential option to like make it out of that situation. And I feel like because of that, it has to be Glory.
Yeah.
I think the monster is the only one, like, if you have something the monster wants, maybe, but even then, like, 'cause that's the only reason we were alive in this season, right? Is just like, he needed something from us. But the second he doesn't, there goes your head.
Literally all bets are off.
Yeah.
I think my answer is still the monster, and it's purely because he's very toddler coded, and I deal with that
Oh,
all
yeah.
day, every day.
We know how to deal with toddlers.
You're a couple baby carrots away from being alive.
Well, he has this element to him that toddlers do, which is like, you can just lie to him, and he doesn't seem to have a good like temperature check for when people are bullshitting him. Like, we're regularly be like, what are you all doing here? And be like, helping you with the scrolls. It's like, well, you're doing a bad job. Not like questioning you. Why are you so sweaty? Like, what's behind your back? Like, no thing. Like,
Why's your face red?
Well, if he can't see it, it doesn't exist. You see,
100%. Well, it's just like when Henry is like, I want to go play in the sandbox, but I can't. The sandbox is sleeping. He's like, fuck. All right, man. The sandbox is sleeping. What are you gonna do?
Got him.
That's headcanon. Fuck. Damn, wake up, fucking sandbox.
That's the
That
classic.
is my nightmare. not being able to rationalize with somebody, that is like literally, I
Well,
cannot. That is
It's
that
hard.
would get
It's
me in so much
hard.
trouble.
So here's the thing. It's hard, but like you do have the power. It's when
Yes.
they realize you don't necessarily have the power that logic goes out the window.
Oh yeah, he's
Like,
getting there.
I think I had a sweet spot.
Yeah, we all do, man.
Where I could have logic, and now I have a preteen at home, and now I'm getting attitude instead of logic, and it stinks.
Yeah, I
Well,
get
because
that.
you're wrong. Saj is right. Bill Seifert, too lawyery,
Yeah.
too all-knowing.
Yeah.
There's no bullshitting your way out of that one. I also don't know if I'm good at
Distracting a child
distracting a
for
child
the rest of your life.
for the rest of my life. I do think also and convince me, tell me if I'm wrong. I think Glory is the only one that's melee range.
That's a good question.
I think
Monster's
has
definitely
range.
at range. Yeah, he definitely has spells.
He's got he's got a magic
Yeah.
arsenal.
Cypher has like lasers
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna
stuff.
go,
Yeah,
so one, I'm gonna go melee
sure.
because that gets me a little bit of room.
Yeah,
But no, I think you're right. I think you just got to hype man Glory. I think you got to talk her hair up. You got to talk her fits up.
girl to girl.
Yeah. Listen,
Mike
I'm
can
here
do
to talk
this. This is true.
I was born for this. I grew up in a household of nothing but women. Give me some coffee cake and a pot, and all night we're safe. I think I'm good.
Just got to teach Glory what the phrase "Yas Queen" means.
Yeah. Yas Queen.
Keep a couple girls in your pocket.
Yeah.
Let her know bitch is
Girl.
back.
She a boss lady.
Yeah.
Listen, we compliment the shoes a couple times. I tell her about a new brunch spot. I think we're good.
You bring her some shoes, like just offerings. Like this is doable.
Yeah, dude, I can be her like the back door. Like,
Her toady.
There's a drop coming. I got you. I'm gonna be in line overnight for you. So don't even worry. You got third in line. I couldn't get first. Sorry, I woke up late. I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in Mike's fictional head, he is late.
Well, I'm being realistic. I don't want to lie to Glory.
I love that it's like your life depends on it. You're like, I couldn't get up that early.
We were up talking all night.
I have my limits, and that is being on time.
But I think she'll appreciate that honesty.
I had to stop for coffee for.
Yeah. So you're right. I think Glory is the most. If you hype her up enough,
She's
she
most
kind of
yap-
forgets a lot about it.
She's yappable.
Yeah.
You can gab at her.
Yeah, I'm made to yap.
Yeah. I can distract
I'm a yap
and run
queen.
away. The only problem with the monster is once you like at some point whenever he gets tired of it, he can just murder you. But
Yeah.
Glory's the same way too. So
Yeah.
what are you doing? Great
Yeah.
question.
And
Incredible.
if I'm in
question.
line for shoes, that's outside of melee range.
This is what I'm saying. There's errands I could be
saying.
running.
Yeah. Dry cleaning, I got you.
Next question.
Next question.
is from Max Strixon.
What up, Max?
What up, Max?
Are there any loose threads from earlier seasons that you are still waiting to see come back?
I have one. Where are the fairies at?
Yeah.
Where are they at?
Where are all them hot honeys
There's
at?
Fillory got taken over by some evil king. Where's the fairies? They're supposed to be moving in. They're supposed to be like part of like the club. Like that was the whole deal. And now all of a sudden we have like a takeover of Fillory again. What's the point? Why did we let them move in? I'm confused. I would like some information about what's going on with them, please.
Yep. Fairies
Yeah.
is a really good one. I didn't clock that for a while, but they were just a huge part and then nothing. Like you feel like they would be involved in the monster. Like they're got to be kind of interested in magic disappearing forever. Like they have their own, like I guess they imbue their own magic
Yeah,
because like
they were
they
their
are
own.
magical source. So maybe they just literally like fucked off when isolationists closed their borders and there's like magic's completely destroyed everywhere. So we're just gonna like hole up here and do us for a little while.
Did we ever get resolution for that class that went missing?
Only one of them because that ended up being Josh, right?
Yeah.
Josh was.
They
Josh
all
and the Traveler.
died.
Yep. Yeah.
They all
So
died
we
in
figured out they all
Fillory.
died and that was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
Trying to think if there's another big. I would agree the other kingdom and the whole like takeover thing, but I feel like that's kind of solved in going into season 5 because they basically time jumped it. So we're not going to get that answer because we functionally moved forward 3 centuries.
I mean, I'm
or
metagaming
whatever.
this. This means that there's something hiding waiting for us. Max knows something.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's
Max
no
is
way
in
you know
nowhere.
like what threads do you want to see resolved? That there's no way there's not something
Oh, it does
coming
say
back.
it does
to
say
bind.
tee-hee right
Does it
here.
say
Yeah, it
tee-hee?
says tee-hee. I didn't read the tee-hee.
You gotta read the
Gotta read the
tee-hee.
tee-hees.
Max has been doing these wrap ups for like a decade
Ugh.
now. Max knows.
He be
Max is a
tee-heeing
fucking
us
knower.
all the time.
Max is a knower. I do think
What are we
the biggest.
missing?
What's up?
Oh, I was just saying, what are
Max,
we
you
missing?
better-
That's all I was saying.
I don't know.
I mean, the recent one obviously is the reservoir being drained.
Yeah.
But that's like not as nice. That's not more of a setup than
Yeah.
than like a loose thread. I think the only other thing with me is I don't feel like we are done with the story of the Chatwins. Like it feels. I get that we like
You
kind
start-
of
and
got
where
a
you start.
resolution, but it feels like there is still
What? But like Jane died.
right.
Martin was the beast,
Mm-hmm.
and the third kid also died. And we saw that when he was a kid, right?
Yes, but we're like constantly dealing with them being dead, but then like she's the the woman in the wood. Like time is weird.
I
and
feel like they closed that loop for
you think
Jane,
they just
though.
closed it? That's fair. It just feels like, and maybe this is just me misunderstanding like what's important in the show because we watch it in a weird way. But it feels like the first 2 seasons were all the book and the Chatwins, and it was like that was kind of your like guiding light. That was your principle of it, is that this is based on a children's story where like real children were involved, and like that I liked that as a like core principle. And then they got away from it really only in this season, because even last season we were kind of dealing with it a little bit.
Yeah.
So it just, and maybe there was a really satisfying resolution that because
We
of how
didn't
we
see.
watch it, it just didn't feel like a satisfying resolution. But it feels like there's so many loose ends with that. There's so many characters at play, and they're so pivotal to like what Fillory is, and like the creation of Fillory and the myth of Fillory, that it feels a little bit weird to just say that that whole thing is completely wrapped up. We're never going to hear from any of the Chatwins or the Beast or anything like that. Is all just like done. We never like reference the books anymore. We're not
Yeah,
like
I mean, the books was referenced. Like, the author of the book kind of showed up again in this episode. And I mean, he disappeared, by the way, like 2 episodes ago.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he might.
yeah.
Did we ever get a resolution
Is
to
he
Cuba?
the bad guy?
Sorry, what'd you say, Sash?
Oh, I was saying, is he the evil king?
Is he the Dark King?
Is this like a Geppetto situation?
I don't know what that means.
Spoilers for that book. We're not going to go into that.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil
Okay.
What book it is?
what book it is.
Okay.
But
But
maybe.
But that is what yeah.
But we never got a Cuba resolution, did we? The
No,
Umber's
I don't-
second world.
No.
I don't know if that's still hanging out there at all.
I like that you guys keep looking at me like I'm going to give you answers.
The
I
only
know.
thing,
I can only give you an answer if you saw it.
the only 2 things I was curious about that just came to my head were the girl I met in the library who had like I think mafia-esque connections. She went to the she passed
Yeah,
on, right?
you stole a card and gave it to her.
and gave it to her.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious about what her family was.
Yeah.
You want that loose end?
That would be fun to see. What was the other thing? I think I'll
Didn't
fight-
she say that her family has all moved on
And she's the only one.
and she was the only one left? I thought that was
that might be
her
it.
deal.
Yeah.
But now I can't remember because I see everything and nothing.
Did we ever? Are
No,
we
I just see
done?
everything too
Are we
many
done
times.
caring about what was it called? The shades of things that were like in our
That's what they were
bodies
called.
that like Julia went down and got like Persephone at the.
Yeah, the whole Persephone thing, I don't feel like has been resolved.
Well, we like didn't we
Or didn't
killed
Persephone die?
Yeah, because she was one of the people that held one of my like eggs or whatever, or my sister's body parts, I guess, canoptic jars or whatever they were supposed to be analogous to.
I don't think Persephone was holding one of the jars. She died because she was trying to give Julia a choice between God. She was trying to save Julia, and that's how she got murked. The people who were holding the bodies were the librarians who were the new gods. Persephone's not a new god. I don't think.
Right. She was just at the wrong place at the wrong time and got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess it more of like the shades felt like it was going to be a really important thing that we were like dealing with more consistently. It felt like the new, I want to say MacGuffin again. It felt like the new MacGuffin thing of like who has a shade, who doesn't have a shade.
Yeah, the Niffin stuff as
the
well.
The Niffin stuff. It's like, and I don't know if that's just lore world building and where they kind of like picked it up to add flavor, but it's not actually like a core important part of the plot. But that kind of stuff I think are like kind of still sticks out as things they could go back to, and maybe that's more of what I'm calling out is like things not exactly loose threads of plot, but more
Concepts
concepts they can kind of like dip back into in the next season if they want to. That I hope they do, I guess, which may be a different question, but yeah.
All right, final question
Final question.
from Addie's brain.
What up, Addie's brain?
This is not an admission of what's happening next episode, but they are curious what character Brian would want to play next season.
Quentin.
Not an admission.
If you could pick one of the remaining
Who is
characters.
it, and why is it not Julia?
That's the problem. Is like maybe there's more to Julia that I just have no idea about. So that'd be like an interesting one. I don't know. Josh seems like a fun guy.
Yeah.
Josh would be a get.
But then we avoid a show. We avoid the situation where Stasha cares about the character because it's her husband.
Is that what Stasha wants?
Stas,
mean,
who do you want Brian to play next season? That's the question. That's the only important question.
You guys heard from me. I want Quentin to be back alive. So if we could just wrap that up and make that happen, that would be great.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying let's just make Quentin alive again. So
It is wild the switch up on Quentin from season 1 being like, I love my character because all I do is dunk on this shithead.
I thought this was like Xander Part 2.
Yeah. And now I'm like, no, wait, stay.
No, come back.
No. Like, even even though I'm not in the scene, the reason why the finale is my favorite is that Penny Quentin meet back up in the underworld of like
that was great stuff.
Them kind of ending that friendship of like, nah, we're cool now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we jump into too much into Quentin, because I do want to also talk about Quentin, but I don't want to railroad Addie's brain's question. Who I want Brian to play, I do think Josh is like, so
candidate.
Julia is the best candidate.
Yes, because
for
we
the
need
show
so much.
because she sees a ton.
Yeah.
Josh
It'd be
is the
weirder.
most fun.
It'd be weirder to jump into Julia because she's had so much happen
Yeah,
to her that
true.
like unless I'm going back and
Yeah.
watching all of it.
But you started off as friends in like similar boats,
Yeah,
so it
but-
feels like a natural like it's the other side of that
But
coin.
1,000 things have happened to her.
Yeah, you gotta
that
watch a
I-
lot.
1,000 things have happened to Josh.
Yeah.
I don't get time for that. So if we're asking who I want to watch as, no, I don't want to watch 4 seasons of Julia scenes.
So you want to be the binder?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a secret sexy third option we're not thinking of?
So there's
yeah,
Katie's an option.
Katie.
Alice is an option.
Alice would be an interesting throw.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would still have a bunch of stuff to watch back through, but I feel like we kind of get it, right?
You have to mourn your own character.
Yeah. Alice is
Well,
not
if I give you Josh, we can't do that secret as soon as the show's over. Oops, all Josh season.
Yeah.
pretty great.
Josh on Josh.
Just everybody watches
Everyone's
as Josh.
Josh.
That's it.
I kind of forgot about Alice. Honestly, Alice, I think is
I feel like halfway through this season, the show also forgot about Alice.
yeah, I know. And then it's like,
Oh.
hey, I forgot she's like the strongest, smartest, most important, and we need a new person to solve everything.
Because I just remembered it, the threads. I just want to throw it out there. Alice Cassandra. I'm curious about that world.
Oh, fair
oh
enough.
yeah.
Right? She's Cassandra in that world. I'm curious. But no, I think my vote is Julia because I just want to know.
Yeah.
Alice probably makes the most sense.
Fen.
Fen.
Fen would be interesting. I mean, I'm assuming Fen's dead. Fen was in Fillory, and it's 300 years later.
If you don't want to watch a
Yeah.
lot, you be the
Right?
map
Like-
maker.
Isn't he also dead?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
everybody.
the man
never
makers
mind,
in
never
the
mind.
underworld actively.
Yep, he is.
Yeah. I still think I think my vote is, and my tiered vote is like, I think Alice is kind of the all arounder because like Alice is
Safe
one
bet.
probably has a bunch of time. 2 is like kind of like quirky. I don't know. I find Alice to be a little bit exhausting, but generally she's
Yeah.
like fine. She at least she is a proactive character. Like every time Alice is doing
Proactive,
something,
parentheses, evil.
yeah, who knows? And I think under that is Josh because it would be really
Funny.
It'd be really sick to see my dope ass homeboy just like doing drugs and fucking dirty and just like having a great time.
I like the phrase "fucking dirty."
It's what he does. The show's
No,
like
he
hey,
does.
He's a dude who fucks constantly.
If there's anyone
He's
in this
great
show
at
who
it.
fucks dirty, it is
Yeah,
Josh.
it's Josh.
He's a werewolf.
Under that is Julia.
And a fish.
Can
And
you
fish.
imagine if I just handed you a character that just like doesn't have an arc, is just cool the entire time? It's like handing you Oz and just being like, have a good time.
Yeah, just gonna have cigarettes.
Yeah, no, I'm listening.
Sleeper choice. Sleeper choice. Hyman.
Hyman. Oh, Dean Fogg.
Dean Fogg.
Dean
Dean
Fogg.
Fogg.
Yeah.
Could do a Dean Fogg or Dean Cop. What do you call the
Dean
one?
Cop.
Dean Cop.
Dean
Dean
Cop.
Cop.
The ones that you guys don't know the names are, and honestly, at this point, I don't want to correct you.
It's Dean Cop.
Dean Cop.
I know character names, and I just don't want to give them to you.
You tell me how Dean Cop doesn't fit. If in a lineup you saw people and I said Dean Cop, you'd be like, right there.
The answer for me is probably Josh, but yeah.
It's a safe bet. That's
Yeah.
the
It is
fun
a
bet.
safe bet.
I want trauma. Julia.
All right, now I think since we're done with the questions, now I think we can roll into any.
Yeah, we talk about Quentin.
Yeah, like
let's
that,
talk
like,
about Quentin.
Let's be honest. Let's talk about Quentin.
Let's talk about
So
Quentin.
this is the
Yeah.
first show we've had where like the main character dies, right?
No.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
and,
like-
and you can make an argument whether he is like the main character.
he
It's
started
definitely-
the show.
I think
as
he
the
started
main
the show
character.
as the main character.
You know, there's obviously like an ensemble cast thing going on here, but
Yeah.
so I think that's kind of a bold choice from the show to be like, actually, we're writing. I mean, who knows? He could be back next season,
Yeah.
for sure.
But we're killing off a main character.
Yeah.
We're killing off, like, arguably the main character. It felt like he was the driving force.
Yeah, he had his like. I do think if you are going to kill somebody off, it is like a good character to kill off, just because of all the reasons that we've said previously. Is that he had his full arc. Like it feels like a satisfying start, beginning, middle, end to like who Quentin was
Yep.
and how he became who he is whenever he passed on. In a way that I think Penny's death didn't feel super like earned from a storytelling perspective, which is probably why they brought in Penny 23, which is, as I understand, isn't like part of the book narrative, but maybe they just felt like he was a little unfinished. So they brought him back, kind of changed him up, tweaked him a little bit, and then sort of like gave him also this other job down in the underworld kind of deal. But Quentin is, like we've said, like Quentin went from being the doofus dunk on this clown,
Come on, guys.
yeah, like Poindexter kind of like nerd guy.
I mean, he
my
was always
book.
like the Luke Skywalker of this story, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like the fish out of water
And the hair.
explaining how like the world works through this like kind of naive
Wanna read my
eyes or
book?
whatever, being a little bit whiny, and then dying.
Yeah, classic. No, he had a lot of good. He touched like everybody has their moment with Quentin. Like as you saw from like the fire at the end, like nobody.
That was a funeral?
Yeah, that's what I heard. But yeah,
I gotta say,
That was one of my favorite.
I'm sorry. This
That was
season,
one of
that's my
favorite
favorite reaction.
moment.
As you come in and be like,
legitimately had no fucking clue.
"Why are we singing? What a dumb scene this is!" And everyone's like, "What? Stupid scene."
Incredible.
It was
So good. Your anger.
Yeah, it would
Mwah.
like it would be like
Thank you,
a bunch-
don't change.
somebody
I
walking
won't.
into a funeral parlor like, why is everyone in line over there? The food's in here. What are we doing?
I did say off mic that I specifically gave you, like, technically you
Yeah.
don't walk in until you start singing.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know,
More.
let me give you a fighting chance. I gave you the beginning of the scene as well. Like you're walking up to the fire because
Right,
you're gonna
I
take a
hear
while.
it.
So like maybe you heard everything that's going on. I just love that you're just like, I still don't
I still
know,
don't
because
get it.
apparently they didn't like, and I didn't realize it editing it that I don't think they said Quentin at all.
No, nobody says it. Or they say
They don't-
their funeral. They don't say rest in peace. They
Yeah.
don't say how do we
I'm
remember
gonna throw
him.
a coffee
they say
cup and
none
an
of that.
egg into a fire.
Yeah, it's the fucking weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's the weirdest.
I'm imagining like Elliot, like if it was the same mind frame, everyone starts crying and he's like, "Hey guys, what's going on? Like, should I be crying?
Did I miss something?
Well,
Did
let's
I
be
miss
honest.
something?
Elliot would do exactly what happened. That is walk in and sing his part.
Yeah, he would just sing.
Oh, we
Yeah.
sing it?
Singing's
All right,
fun.
let's
yeah.
sing a
I
song.
don't think I've got to hear many people sing, so it was also a great scene for me.
And he just happened to have a peach in his pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad I had something.
We're throwing stuff in a fire. I got this.
I got a loose peach.
It's just because I have a toddler at home, but I've seen the movie A Bug's Life like 50 times. And I'm not sure if anyone remembers the like running bit where the ant Flick, the main character guy, gives the little baby queen ant a rock and is like, pretend that it's a seed. One day it's going to become a big flower. You're just a little seed. Eventually you're going to grow up and you're going to become the queen. And at the end, she's trying to convince him to come back and save the colony from the hoppers. And she gives him a rock and doesn't say anything. And all the other bugs are looking like, what the fuck's with the rock? And they're like, I don't know, it must be an ant thing. And then later on at the end, to thank the queen, the actual queen, for like giving them a chance and saving their lives, they give her a rock, and she's like, what the fuck's with the rock? I'm like, I don't know, it must be a circus thing. Like, that's how I imagine that scene from the Ice
singing thing.
Elliot. He's like, I got a peach. It must be a magician's thing. It's just like throw it in the fire.
I think I missed something this season.
Yeah.
There we go.
I think the benefit of us being on video now is getting to watch back that scene and find the moment where Colin's like, "Oh, this is a funeral."
I need to go rewatch it. That was so
Feel
funny.
free. It was genuine. I legitimately didn't pull punches. I had no fucking clue.
But it's fair because you have there's no clues there.
Yeah.
We never there's no words. I think is the only lines in that scene.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and then you get like, you see Penny 40 and Quentin standing by the fire, but I'm sure you just got black where that happened.
Yeah,
They did. They did get black where it happened.
Yeah.
Funny. Anybody else have stuff about Quentin passing on? I mean, we've kind of talked about it a decent amount, but so I know this is really close to your heart.
I mean,
We could just sing "Take on Me" if anyone would like.
Yeah, from Deadpool 2.
I like the stuff at the end where it was like where Quentin was asking, like, did I finally find a way to kill myself, or did I, like,
Yeah,
you know,
that's a really poignant question.
and obviously I think the answer is like he stepped up and saved his friends.
Yeah,
you know,
I think so too.
But what were you gonna say, Stash?
Well, it's not bad. I'm not actually saying the ending is bad. I cried. I think it was good. Like it's just a reminder of me as like a writer that is still not like good enough, because it's like Kill Your Darlings really means it, and this show really did it, and I was like, I don't know if I could have done that, man. Like, that is his growth is so good. It's really, I think it's like pretty interesting for me to like get a character that I really don't like at the beginning and then really fall in love with them and then have them die. It's just like, I don't know. It's a good writing and a bad feeling. And so that's kind of my take on it. But it's
I'm angry because they did their job.
It's good. Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't ask to feel like this, actually. Like,
I don't watch media to feel things.
I think it helps because Quentin almost becomes like, when the scene where he's trying to like hype man Fillory and he can't, like, it's almost him being exhausted with old him.
Yeah.
And like being very much who Penny was, of like, God, you're annoying. I don't get this. It's not that big of a deal. Why do you love that crap? And I think like we bring Q over to our side of the table of like, cool and all, but it's not what you're making it out to be. There are problems in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where Q becomes relatable, when he can see through the childhood gloss.
Similar with the scene between Quentin and the monster when he was like breaking all the like model airplanes. It felt like a moment where, to your point, like Quentin felt like he realized he was going through the motions of trying to be old Quentin, and like it was kind of like a habit, and he was like acting in like an expected way that didn't feel honestly true to his own feelings. He was like being a little bit performative because of just familiarity and like how he interacts with his like mom and with his dad, and it felt like it's one of those good like character like growth or character study kind of like moments where it's Quentin is acting in that scene like a character he was 5 years ago, and he has grown X since that time. But because he's getting into these old habits and old routines in a familiar place with familiar people from that time, he kind of like, I don't know, like code switching is the right word, but he like switches this personality back to who he would have been. And then it takes like the monster being like, why are you doing this? And Quentin be like, you know what? Actually, fuck, I don't know. Man. Like, I honestly don't know.
Kind of tying off of both what you just said is like the scene where he has to like talk about why he loves Fillory to basically save Josh. I actually think it's kind of interesting that he kind of overshot, like he overcorrected from his earlier seasons, because in the first couple seasons he's like maybe a bit naive about Fillory, like about the reality of what that place is, because it's obviously he's grown up with this like fairy tale version of this real place, and when he like sees how it actually is, he's, you know, kind of in denial a bit, maybe a little, and then turns maybe a little disillusioned with it by the end. And then that last scene, Alice has to basically be like, no, like the cozy horse or whatever, the 100-foot tall horse that has like, you can build a building on it or whatever. Like, she's like, no, that is real. Like, there's some of this stuff that's like magical about Fillory that you basically have like denied its existence because of everything that's gone wrong. And you've basically like taken the entire magic out of like your internal view of this place, even though some of that is still there. You basically kind of overcorrected from this, like, I'm in love with this imaginary version of this place to like, no, there's still beauty in the real version, even if you don't want to see it.
Which I think is a good kind of message for like, especially if you're, once again, this demographic where like you grow up as a young kid, young teen, thinking anything's possible in the world. And if you work hard enough, you can do anything. And there's all this positive intent. And then you get into your teens and like early 20s and you're like, oh no, the world's not great, and there's selfishness and there's evilness and there's all this stuff out there, and you go nihilistic and like, why are we saving it? That's bad. And then it's no, yes, there is bad. Yeah. We're not saying there's not bad, but there is also good. And you can't wipe away all of the good because there is bad. So it's like, we got nihilistic Quentin who's like, oh no, everything's screwed, everything's bad, it's not what I thought it was, fuck Fillory, I don't care, we're just trying to save a fish boy. And Alice like, no, yeah, it's bad, but there's also good.
Yeah, it's the finale of Fifth Element. Love.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, that's the Fifth Element?
Yeah. There's war, there's pain, there's suffering, but also there's love.
Chicken's good?
Yeah.
I get it now.
Dallas.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah. Rip in peace, Quentin. Yeah. I don't think we're getting him back. I legitimately don't. It feels like, I don't feel like you have your character literally walk through the doors to the train in the underworld or whatever.
And then ding next season.
Yeah, because like Penny didn't. Like, you got stuck in this sort of like limbo and became an employee, and like that was a little bit telegraphed, but I think they've kind of set that standard up for themselves. And same thing with Elliot. Like, he just got like killed, and then there was no like fanfare, and it's like, that's not how that character ends. This isn't that type of show.
Here's my question for you.
What's up?
Okay, we're gonna pull from X-Men. Jean Grey died as the Dark Phoenix. Okay, and that was what it was.
She was word for it.
No, that's what happens. Jean Grey dies as the Dark Phoenix, but they wanted to bring her back, but the writer would only do it with a good reason. So they had to. So they retconned it in a way to bring her back, but she was done so.
Right.
How would you bring back Quentin
if you had to?
If you had to, using the rules within this,
because you can't
show.
do Penny's thing again.
No, like, I mean that's you could. That is an option, but it would feel lazy.
Yeah, I don't think you would. The only thing I could imagine is that, well, that's kind of a Julian thing. I was gonna say the only other thing I could imagine really is that Quentin has basically made a name for himself in the like godly pantheon of like magics as being somebody who's been directly involved in these sort of like major schisms and like upheavals and magic dying and coming back. And it's like, he can't go unnoticed by the gods. And there's obviously there is now a bunch of like gaps because like a bunch of gods have fucking died. Like, there has to be these like domains like that need some kind of like god guidance. If you have a world with a pantheon, if gods are real, you cannot then just kill a bunch of gods and never backfill those positions, because they are gods of a specific like domain or an idea, or like they have a methodology. There's usually a job associated with it. So my only other thought is that Quentin basically gets like, hey, I know you're dead, but kind of like in a Cordelia, an angel is like, but we have a job to fill, and you've proven yourself a time and time again. You
sacrifice yourself to prevent this really bad god, this guy, from becoming god.
So I could see that would be maybe
giving him like a minor deity ship or whatever. Yeah.
And then I think that adds friction between you and Julia, because that's another thing where like Julia kind of like getting into break bills. Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing with break bills. It's like she wanted to be a goddess and she wasn't able to get in, just like you were. She wanted to get into break bills and she wasn't able to, and you get this thing like for free, kind of like you did with break bills.
Failing
like,
upwards.
Yeah, I could see this. I could see that adding some like level of stuff.
It's as good as any.
I like that.
It's my only one I got though, I think. Yeah.
I'd make a Quentin golem.
Make a golem?
Mm-hmm. Like the Mar golem.
Yeah.
Make him hang out.
Does the golem talk?
No.
No, it doesn't.
That's the whole point.
Does that make Quentin better or worse? Actually, he's better. It'd be worse now
he's
because we
good.
actually like him now.
Better in season 1, worse in season 4 or 5.
Yeah.
The only thing that I wanted to talk about with the season that I kind of like hinted at before is that I am a little bit disappointed with the finale of this being not the campfire funeral. I understand that now. But I am a little bit disappointed with the idea of like, we set up this like nuance of it wasn't these like these I don't like the storyline of parents made these children they didn't want and they didn't love and they squirreled them away and abused them and hated them, and then they got out and sought revenge, rightfully so, and the solution for how we deal with it is we put them inside of little tiny prisons and throw them into Foreverland. Like that felt reductive to what we spent the entire season doing.
Different people doing the same punishment.
Yeah, and it's like, but we did it. Like the good guys did it. And it's like, I felt like there was always going to be this moment where like we realize we are not being the good guys by trying to stop the demons because the bad guys are the old guys. Like I thought that was going to be the season 5 thing if we were getting one. And it's like, I just don't like that we basically did to the monsters exactly what the parents did.
But more permanent.
More permanent. Like we did their job for them better. So like we're just abusers in the same way. I don't like that.
I really thought the finale was going to be someone getting through to Monster Elliot.
Yeah.
And then Monster Elliot standing up against his sister.
And I get that it's tragic and we're dealing with Greek pantheons and it's I understand I get it. Like I do functionally understand that because it's a Greek tragedy. He has that moment where he's sitting alone in the forest and he has his head laid back against a tree and everything's quiet and peaceful. And he says, "You would love the quiet," just out loud to his sister who's not even listening, but just in a moment of being like, there's beauty in this world. There are other things other than revenge, and it is these quiet moments where he's kind of like remembering what it's like to not have this like drive for vengeance and death and murder and all these things that make him a monster, this little like spark of like humanity, for lack of a better term, and he immediately gets like axed in the stomach by a person that he loves, or like the version of him loves, and it's like, again, all good stuff, but then that all sort of gets wrapped up in a bow whenever he's just like put into a prison jar and thrown into the void. And I just don't think that it just like is missing that last little like oomph there, where whenever it was over, I just didn't like it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like you could have cut whatever the librarian's name who showed up at the last minute, who I'd never seen before and apparently was the villain of the season. You cut that plot line and focus more on that part. I could see it.
Well, I actually think that was the whole thing. It's just we just didn't see it. It's like they were never really the bad guys. I mean, I really think that was like the way that this season was framed.
Yeah, so they were never the bad guys, but we treated them and finished them and dealt with them in the season finale.
Well, they were just like indiscriminately murdering people. Like that is just like like we couldn't. There was no solving them, right? They can't die. So how do you prevent them from murdering people otherwise? Really, like legitimately.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the writer of the show. It just felt like what we did wasn't the thing that heroes do. It doesn't feel like if we're the heroes in the story that is the solution that heroes come up with in these situations.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I don't have a good option
Maybe
for what
it's
it could be,
because
maybe that's the problem, is they wrote themselves into a bit of a corner with the power level, because they're like, season 4 baddie, we need to make them super strong and super invincible and super untouchable, and then they kind of lost the thread there a little bit.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts of this season of Magicians? Because we've got another one, fellas.
Shocker.
Rip Quentin.
Yeah. Great season.
How dare you make me care about him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good
Cowards.
season. Great season.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm excited for season 5. We'll see you all there. How about that?
I like that.
Maybe not all.
Maybe not all.
Yeah.
We'll see at least 3 of us there.
We'll
Minimum.
see.
All right. I'm your host, Mike, signing off. Left me as always.
It's Tasha.
And for me as always.
It's Colin.
Right here, right now.
It's Brian.
I'm creeping in the background often.
Producer James, right here for now. Brian.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh.
I don't know.
I thought you were saying for you.
For me, I'm always sometimes.
We'll see you next time.
Bye forever.
For more information, go to popculturerollcall.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Our new theme provided by Stephen Rosbach. Find him at StephenRossbach.com for more of his work. Join us next week for another episode of Pop Culture Roll Call.